let me just say, let me get this off my mind. The dumb yelling he does has got me so fucking triggered. I hate it. I mean, it's the dumbest sounding yell I've ever heard in my entire life. I mean, what are we doing?
I need to get back to this. I want to hear Chad's thoughts because I made a note about that. That's pretty funny.
It was so repetitive. But I just wanted to get that off my head, off my mind, because that's the main like thing that's bugging the fuck out of me with this little special. I Everything else like traumatic, like trauma wise, I get, but every chance he gets, oh, oh, it's like a fucking howling monkey, dude. What the fuck? But
Is that where you
sorry.
were from finishing Daredevil Born Again season 2, leading in?
Pretty much at the end of Daredevil Born Again season 2. I won't spoil it unless y'all want me to. Um, this just takes place right after season 2. It does not have really any connection to Daredevil season 2. So you didn't miss much.
Exactly. It makes it like, what's the fucking point in keeping up with this shit?
So it feels like Daredevil season 2 DLC. It's just like a little epilogue, or it's an appetizer before Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he
So
got the new suit, right? That's in that.
that and the whole telling that the 50 minutes that we got is pretty much a recap of what the Netflix season 1 and season 2 is in 50 minutes. It's him deciding he doesn't want to be the Punisher, he does want to be the Punisher, and it's just back and forth. And it tells us, with his family and all that stuff. So I am finally happy that we finally got to a place where the Punisher has kind of solidified that he is going to be the Punisher, not this mopey back and forth. I don't want to be it. I do. I don't. I do. This is him. It seems like fully embracing it. Other than that, it was kind of mid. I mean, I like the action sequence, other than the one part that we'll probably talk about here in a bit of him jumping off into something. But um, other than that, you didn't really miss much by not finishing Daredevil Born Again season 2.
So let's go like step by step with this episode, like how it begins and how, because I mean, there's not a lot of plot here other than like what
Really not.
Chad is saying. It's just rehashing what he's already done and kind of like showing this character to possibly people that have just seen him within Daredevil or skipped his show entirely, and now you're gonna have him in Spider-Man. So you gotta have to have kind of like a refresher, you know. I it I mean, what is it? Like the first time you see him, he's in his room in his apartment, kind of just
Yeah,
loathing.
at first you're getting the idea. You're like, oh yeah, this shit's gonna be badass. It's kind of got the music going, and then he kind of falls into the depression type stuff, and
Damn bitch,
like
you
chat,
live
like
like this.
huh.
The damn bitch, you live like this meme.
And like Chad said, like I remember very vaguely. I watched some of the first season. I think I actually watched all the first season of The Punisher whenever it came out, just because I was such a big fan of Bernthal's take on it. But I do vividly remember a lot of it was him dealing with his PTSD and will I, won't I for the Punisher. So just kind of
And
piggybacking off
honestly,
that.
the Netflix season 2, that's the exact same thing it was he was trying to deal with the whole um Russo that pretty much like, at the end of season 1 lived, and he's
Mhm.
still getting haunted by his past PTSD and his family's killing and all that stuff. And they
Yeah.
just took it and said, "Here's a 50-minute special to make you not have to watch that."
And like it's like if the trauma is a part of like is a central part of the character like it is for the Punisher. I mean, that's his whole motive in becoming that character. It's understandable to rehash it. It just feels so similar to what they've already done. There's no kind of unique spin on it. If anything, it's lesser as far as calling back, because I think they kind of had more like elaborate like flashbacks, kind of like dream sequences in the mainline show, and in this you kind of just get like there was like a scene each for the mom the son and the daughter, where just blood starts just appearing just on them. And I mean, for what they end up showing in the special kind of towards the tail end, you would kind of think that they would be able to kind of get away with something maybe a little bit more like shocking to get the point across of like what he deals with on a day to day. But honestly, that's a good bit of the first kind of chunk of the episode. Um, I was not happy with that little rat dog just getting heaved in front of the garbage truck. I was like, all right, thanks guys. No one for warning me
I
about this like little dog's death.
I
Like not
got
even 5 minutes in.
spoiled of that like while they were doing production, and there was like a little clip of uh John the Punisher Berthal or whatever. He has like a fake dog, and they take the real dog away from the guy, and he tosses the fake dog in front of him so that he just like grabs it and just tosses it. So I knew something like that was going to happen, but I didn't think it was going to be like right off the bat. Like, this is what we're doing. This is probably the worst thing that's going to happen throughout this whole fucking episode.
Right, there's bits where you're like, "Oh shit, okay, they're going for it," and then there's other points where like, "Well, they could have
Yeah.
done more than that." Which you're gonna have that throughout the whole episode. Like, there's gonna be like, this isn't violent enough." And
Yeah.
there's gonna be like, "Oh, this is it's gonna be a talking point."
It's like nobody's asking to see the dog splatter on the fucking front, like
Yeah,
a Terrifier thing. But there is some kills in this that you're like, they could have ramped it up just a little bit if they really want to get the point across that this is the Punisher. But
yeah.
I think in like the Netflix Daredevil show in season 2, I vividly remember. I think there's a scene where Punisher like has a shotgun to this dude's face and just shoots him, and you see his face like all mangled.
hmm.
Hmm.
So like I remember watching that when I was younger, and being like, "Oh shit!" And I feel like nothing really in this kind of lived up to anything similar to that.
No, well,
Other than
wasn't
like
there?
the dog was shock value, but like I
Yeah,
didn't
Yeah,
want
I
to see the
mean,
dog. I don't want to see the dog, but like they, if they really wanted to, they could have.
I
yeah, I mean,
feel
I would say it's more kind of like he said for like shock value and to establish what they're up against.
even in Daredevil, like the season 2 show, you get pretty brutal in it, where there's a lot of blood and a lot of kind of like gore when he's breaking arms and whatnot. I feel like they almost were kind of more darker with Daredevil than how they were with Punisher. I mean, there was like there was some things you can see that you can consider gore, but I mean, I don't know.
So I wrote a note on this, and I'm interested, kind of, maybe for you all being like midway through kind of Daredevil season 2, and Chad, maybe you all can give me some light on this. Are they just in like post-apocalyptic hell? Like, what the fuck is going on in this borough in New York?
It pertains to the end of season 2.
Like, holy shit. This is like some like fucking like Mad Max, like I Am Legend type shit. There's like just these fucks running around just beating the shit out of people. There's like cops, like there's like I think I've only seen like 2 cop cars throughout this entire like 50 minutes where it's just like pure chaos, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is happening?"
I mean, I can tell y'all if y'all want, but that's spoilers.
Listen,
Well, I'm just more so like, okay, at least it's carrying over. But again, like you had said, this is kind of like inconsequential. I mean, it's like an epilogue essentially to Daredevil season 2, Born Again. But
And that's the
what
thing, like, don't get sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just gonna say about that carrying over to this, not really. I wonder how much of this is gonna carry over to Brand New Day. I mean,
By then, to my kind of interpretation and thought with it, the like craziness that was going on in the streets, that'll pretty much be solved by Brand New Day. It might not be fully, but the way that it ended in Daredevil season 2, and then it's only like a month after for Punisher, and then I think Daredevil or Spider-Man picks up like right after as well. I don't think it'll be too chaotic.
yeah. I mean, it would be good to have Spidey do some like side quests for like that more like friendly neighborhood type stuff. But judging by the end of this, where Punisher's at, you could probably interpret that he takes care of most of it himself. It's just shocking to me, not kind of being in the know-how of this.
I think one thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way about both Daredevil season 2 and The Punisher, and this isn't really a spoiler, but at no point when everything's happening in New York in Daredevil Born Again season 2 does the Punisher show up. And you would think that in all of this chaos that happens within the season, especially the finale, someone like him would be there. And for him to not, and him just, I don't, was he just in his apartment? Just,
Yeah. So Was he just in season one? Because I looked at Bernthal's Wikipedia, and he was in like 2 episodes.
he was just in season 1, and then he got freed, I guess, at the end. Um, and then, yeah, he just kind of disappeared, which doesn't really make sense.
Okay,
But
so
also,
yeah, if he's not showing up at all this season, like what the fuck?
I think their explanation is in between. He was out killing all these crime families
Hmm.
that killed his family, pretty much, as they kind of alluded to. So
Yeah,
Okay,
because
so like I was gonna talk about that too, because I was like, oh, surely this is like context in Daredevil season 2 or something.
nope, never brought up.
He
The
never
only
took out these family members,
nope.
the past, 10 years since the original Netflix show.
My only thought is with the end of Daredevil Born Again season 2, it's hard to explain without just saying it. There's a lot that happens that power is kind of unbalanced.
Avery's fucking sweating. He doesn't want to hear the spoilers.
I got 4 episodes left, brother. Let me have it.
God.
I'm just saying.
Because I mean,
kind of
the 4th episode is pretty nuts. I like it.
I'm glad you brought up this fucking random Italian family, because that kind of leads into my next point that I wrote down. I kind of went like rough bullet points on the episode, but just so little happens. Mm. When this old bitch showed up in her fucking like mobility scooter and was like being like evil monologuing to him in front of his like fucking shit ass apartment complex, I was like, what are we doing? Because that actress fucking sucked. She was
She
like,
did.
she was like,
Bonucci?
she was like, oh, I'm the one who's punishing you now. And like, was like, the time you killed my suspiciously young son? That's the time I'm going to have them kill you.
And I hated when it would show like Punisher ripping him out of the limo, and like when his mouth moves, it was her saying it. And I was just like,
That's so cringe. And like, and it was so random too, because I was like, I need context, because it was like she's made the comment about her youngest son, like, oh, he never messed with those underage
Yeah.
kids. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Excuse me? I don't know what that's in context to, and apparently we're not supposed to know.
It's part of the comic that it's a part of, like the run that it's part of.
Yeah.
It's tied in all that.
Like,
Because
just
this is
like,
based off a comic run.
just like he's what, like diddling some random like children?
Pretty much, like he's just a kid diddler, and then all the other sons are either into like drugs and crime.
Like one was like a
they're
crooked
all
cop,
into
yeah.
something, and they all sort of affected Frank's family's life.
so he did diddle the kids.
He did
He
diddle
did.
the kids.
You know,
Granted,
But
in the book, there's a polar bear that Frank punches in the comic book run. So like,
oh, what the fuck?
I was waiting on that to
to
show up, and it never did.
I was
this
about to ask if it was good. That's crazy.
special oddly reminds me of a Toxic Avenger special. I'm not even gonna lie. You got the person that's kind of crippled, and then you got like a bunch of these goons, and it just feels very chaotic. And it's like dirty cops everywhere and dirty people everywhere, like the people that threw the dog and stuff. It gave I meant to say it earlier, but it kind of gave me a very strong Toxic Avenger like style underneath. That's the vibe I got.
Because it's legit just how chaotic it is. But yeah,
The
like
comic run that it is referencing is very chaotic like that. Like I said, he punched a polar bear in it, so
I was just like really put off by this lady's like deliveries and like the exposition dump, and then it was just like it felt very like kind of like dollar store John Wick, where he's like, I think that's literally the plot in like John Wick Chapter 2. It's like there's a certain time that all these like except for like really highly trained assassins, it's like these generic Spider-Man PS4 goons
Yeah.
that you're having to fight with just like fire axes and lead pipes, and sometimes a gun is thrown in there. Yeah, you got to fight all of them off Frank in his like ghetto ass apartment.
That's a part I didn't get either. It's like you have this amount of time, and it all starts, and he just takes out this whole building, and then after it, it's just like nothing happens. He's walking the streets, nothing's happening
Yeah,
to him.
like it. I mean, it's kind of like you got to suspend your disbelief, but it's like, why would she not just immediately launch like a surprise attack and like have like a sniper out for him, or then like maybe like I don't know, dude. Like they could have like their own fucking little militia group go after him. Be like held up in his apartment or something. I don't fucking know.
It just
And
felt.
whenever she was rolling away, she was hitting the middle finger. I was like, this is like I don't even know what the
the
fuck is happening.
euphoria.
Yeah, exactly. Holy fuck.
This I don't know if you guys have seen it, and this is not to stray past any like the continuation of the episode. They have sort of solidified a new GIF on Twitter where it's Frank in the middle, the like ghosts kind of his military friends that are around him. He's like shirtless, yelling, and it looks like his arm is moving. So it's like a big goon fest of a fucking GIF. And I didn't think of it when I saw that scene originally, but they really made a good GIF out of that, man. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it is very like
It's
that's how it
insane.
be. That's how it be. And for the next point, what I was gonna say was back to what you had mentioned, Avery. Like Frank is, I know bro's like got depression, fucking PTSD, is traumatized, but at what point when your door to your apartment is being doused in
Oh my
gasoline and the
god, dude.
gasoline is running into your like apartment and you're standing in it and
Yeah.
it's lit on fire, at what point do you either back away or do something else? Because again, I know it's fucking supposed to be cool, he's on fire, he's busting through the door, but it's like I was saying in my notes, I was writing he's like giving kind of like heavy Neanderthal vibes, because why is he
Yes.
being so stupid? And like you said,
Yes.
with the yelling, he's like,
Dude,
he runs
please.
through the door, and his legs are on fire, and they just
Oh,
randomly go out, and I'm like, this is so kind of like silly. Like that part, I was like,
even when she was talking to him before he got in the building, he just gives her this blank stare the whole time as if he can't comprehend anything. And I'm just like, why is he doing this? Like there's there's 2 seasons of him going through traumatic experiences. All this stuff has, come together. I don't know if it's like kind of like euphoric for him to be done with, that family stuff or not. He's just kind of like dazed or whatnot. But that also, the scene where he just, like you're talking about, just standing there, letting himself just be engulfed in flames. At that moment, I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Why is he doing this? And looking through the peephole and just blankly staring. I was so confused.
I think in
it's
that
like,
moment, and this is kind of just my interpretation of it, since he'd already finished what he thought he finished his list of all the kills, um, he, I don't want to say just like decided that he was done being the Punisher, and then when the whole fire started rolling in the door, it was him trying to evaluate, like, if he does run through this door, he has to pretty much fight, he has to kill, he has to be the Punisher. I don't know if that's the way they intended it for it to be, especially when he was talking to Manucci and she kind of just like out of the blue shocked him with like, "I'm gonna kill you now," and it's just he wasn't prepared. I do agree that he just looked like an idiot, just standing there with his mouth open, like what? But I kind of I don't know. I don't know if they meant for it to be that way, but
I
I mean,
just
I can respect that, but I'm just like, I know you want to die, my guy, but at like a certain point, do you want to die by flames just slowly creeping up you, and uh, and
I
then he just has the epiphany when his
ag-
fucking pants legs are
I mean,
dead.
I agree with Chad that that's probably what was going on, but they should
Oh,
have had like some type of scene or flashback, kind of like bringing him back to sense or something, so he just doesn't look so
yeah, maybe something like
dumbfounded.
that.
Just
Yeah.
something
Well,
to gap
they
that.
they kind of had like bits of that with I think like the boy yelling across the hallway or something, and
Yeah,
like the woman yelling, but it's like it just feels like they were missing maybe like a cut in of
yeah,
something. Like maybe like his daughter or son or both of them could have been like tugging on his arm or something, and he's like, "Oh God, what am I doing?" But yes, I do love the Neanderthal busting through the fucking door and just yeah, that's when I noticed like his grunting and
yeah.
his like "Ooh," like I get like the Punisher rage, yeah, but like
It sounds so
it just
goofy.
it sounded really dumb.
Yeah, it
I was
really
really
does. What is it? Sorry.
I was really hoping that in the episode he would say his famous, line, "Let me tell you something," but he never did.
hmm
All he said was like, what was it like? He said something, but it wasn't the line that I was expecting it to be. So it seems
Yeah,
like
that's like
every project John Bernthal says something like that.
yeah, I think that's just like a tick.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like whenever we got into like our first bit of the action kind of set piece with him escaping the apartment complex. I thought it was, I thought it was all right. It was a lot of gunplay. I did like, I mean, it was silly, but I thought it was cool whenever he like lodged the fire axe into the guy's like back or something, and then he knocked the other dude into
Hmm.
like the other part of the axe and whatnot. So and then he saved the woman, so that was cool. And then it seemed like bro was just like playing like gun game from Call of Duty. He just kept like acquiring like a new gun every person he killed.
See, it made me remind me of like a battle royale. Like he's just picking up different weapons because there's no
hmm
ammo in them. So
I think there was like a Korean film that's like supposed to be pretty good, like one of the best action films, and I think it takes place in like a building, like kind of like similar to an apartment complex, and it's called like The Raid. So you could definitely tell it's like kind of inspired by like other action films, like especially like like John Wick, of course. But um, yeah, I mean, I thought it was all right. It wasn't anything that blew me away. I don't know about you all, but it bleeds into the stuff that goes on top of the apartment complex, which is a whole other thing.
I thought it was decent. I like the kills. I would have really liked to. I don't know if they tried this when they were doing all that, like the shooting in the apartment complex where the mom and daughter was, or the son. I can't remember, but if that was kind of like a try to do like a one shot, it was not bad. But I feel like they could have done a little bit more to make it a little bit more like brutal if that's what they were trying to go for, other than just kind of picking up a gun and then going at it and then running out of ammo and picking up something else. The axe was pretty cool. Um, I don't know. A lot of it, like just looking back at it, I really enjoyed it watching it, but looking back, it kind of just feels dull in some ways. Um, I don't
You
want to
have a
down
lot
it
of
too
weight to it.
much.
I know, but I mean, like, I just feel like that's kind of like what you know hits the line between like okay action and then like good action, like the John
Yeah.
Wicks or what have you. Like it just feels a little bit empty with like the gunplay and stuff. I feel.
Mm,
I really feel like if they would have extended the runtime just to give it a little bit more of a flexibility than just depression and then shooting most people in a building,
absolutely.
it could have flowed a lot better.
You could have fit so much more into it. They could have done more scenes because supposedly that
Even in
girl
20 minutes.
was his like real daughter, apparently.
Oh
So
really?
yeah, they used his real daughter this time. Well, that's what I've read. I don't know if how true that is, but I would have liked to have seen more scenes with his like children because that was like his main like comeback. That's what kind of brought him back to being like, this is why I'm doing this. Seeing other
Yeah.
kids and hearing them and kind of going that right direction. I wish there was just a tad more of that, so it kind of just pulls him to the light of it. You know, however you want to say light, since he's really murdering people, but more of that to feel that gap of like, you know,
And like for the action as well. I mean, obviously he is more well equipped than all of these goons, but it never felt like leading up to the rooftop, it never felt like he was struggling. It never felt like there was any bit of danger. He was just launching dudes over the side. It never like, maybe if they had a scene of like one of them like getting really close to like having him off the edge or something, like have some like close-ups because it all felt like very like far back, just watch him do these cool kind of action moves. I do like whenever he was kind of going up to the rooftop and there was like those bits that were kind of in the stairwell, like he threw the fire extinguisher and
yeah, that
shot
was cool.
it and done that sort of stuff. So leading up, it had some cool stuff going on. Oh, I was gonna mention this. I'm glad I read this. I hate this is kind of I mean, this isn't really just like the rag on this, but I hate whenever movies or shows do this. Whenever there's an explosion and they do like the stereotypical like ear ringing, like where it just like fucking like peeks out your eardrums, I hate that shit. Like, can we do something else for that? Because like we get it, it stunned the character, but holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Kind of generic at this
Especially
point.
especially with this bitch, I had it cranked up. So
Yeah.
Um, this goes into the rooftop. Hopefully Tyler comes back here soon, but um, this was kind of ass in my opinion. I thought
This is when the
I thought
quality
there
went
was
down.
yeah, dude. I mean, like I felt like there were some bits that were kind of cool, but if you watched the most recent short on the channel, there is like a rubber AK that got like a pretty close slow-mo shot, and it's like, guys, you are Marvel, you are
Yeah.
Disney. What the fuck are you doing? Like, why is this like? How did I notice that on a first glance? I never like picked that shit out. And like it's understandable for movies to have like, kind of errors and stuff, but this is fucking Marvel and I feel like I don't know. It seems like they fucking like micromanage so much, but something like that just like slipped through the cracks and like nobody saw that. You're telling me this entire time that they were putting it together, adding the music, editing and everything, they went through, watched the final fucking cut, and nobody noticed that? Like,
Yeah.
crazy to me.
I didn't notice it until you said it, and then I was kind of really surprised how much it warps, and I was like,
Yeah,
wow, like
the
that's
the
crazy.
stock the stock warped off the initial impact, and then you can just like tell it was like a rubber prop. Obviously, I mean it has to be. I mean, there's no fucking. I'm not saying to use like a
Yeah.
real fucking proper prop, but it's funny because it's when you see it fall, you can totally tell it's just one molded piece. It's pretty insane. So, um, gosh, Tyler, he's gone, but
Gone
this
for
kind of
good.
it kind of leads into the fucking this is
I
the
mean, I can
talk
take
of
a
the
step back if we want to wait for a second.
We can pause.
yeah. If there's anything and you got a mind,
I can't remember if this was before or after, but the appearance of Karen Page.
Oh yeah, it was.
before.
That was when he was in the
Okay,
apartment, right? Because
that's what I was thinking.
he
Yeah,
had
yeah,
the
yeah.
like the flashback of his wife and the kids, and they started bleeding, and she was in. Karen was in the hoodie of the wife or something like that.
Yeah,
Right.
I liked seeing her in that because I know she kind of has that connection already with the Punisher. But I really don't want a three-way triangle between her, Matt, and Daredevil.
Yeah, it's gone to that,
Punisher.
hasn't it? Because in the new season, I don't know if it's like if it unfolded later in the season of season 2, but they're like kissing and stuff. So I was just like,
And like I get that's just in his mind, but also like I mean if he's already feeling that way, like they've had a relationship before in what was it? Daredevil, the Netflix show? Didn't they have his thing there, or was it actually in the Punisher show?
So yeah, that's what I was about to ask
It was
you.
the Punisher show.
So
That's what I was
That's
thinking.
not familiar to me.
they have gotten together in the Punisher show. Is
Yeah,
that
it
where?
had to have been like like season
They had a
2,
couple
I believe.
dates, and like I think they kissed a couple times, but like they never really showed full on like
Like
anything
insertion or
happening.
anything.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
I'm pretty sure he came over to his apartment like a couple times in one of the shows, and they went on like a date or two. And
It
they
seems
were
pretty
like
like heavy though now.
serious, but they weren't. It was weird.
But isn't it kind of like strange that they like in Daredevil they're like they make it seem deeper than like maybe what it was, and now it's kind of gotten to the point where it's like now it's Matt and her, but I mean he's still having like these feelings.
Thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like it's like what will it be inevitably? You never know, I guess, but. They were talking about the rooftop, Tyler, and if you had any input on it.
So yeah, I mean, like predating. Well, we can just get into it as well. I mean, throw in any thoughts, but this is the talk of the town, and not to dogpile, but this fucking shot looks like it's out of like the PS3 era. It looks like
Yes,
fucking Last of Us. Um, I don't. I saw reports where apparently that was like a real shot. They just fucking changed out the stunt actor's face with John Bernthal, and even if that's the case, it still looks bad, and they should have shot something else. I don't. I just legitimately, in my heart of hearts, cannot believe that's real.
the
No,
legs, man.
yeah.
It felt AI when I watched it.
It
It
did.
really did. And it looked, if not AI, it looked like something like someone threw in Blender and worked on for like
Yeah.
2 hours. Like, it was so fucking weird.
The way like he lands on his back and then the leg. What when you say blender, that's what it really reminds me of because his legs are like they're going still as if he's still falling. That's the biggest thing that I caught on there, and I was like, that's a little confusing. If it's like an actual practical fall, why would he continue like moving his legs as if he's like still mid fall? I didn't understand that. I totally saw the face. That was the biggest one that stand out because there was no expression whatsoever. But I thought it was 3D at first.
3D.
3D CGI, I
On
mean.
the fucking glasses. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everyone talks about that fucking shot, and like, yeah, it is what it is. It is bad.
I mean, saying that's the last thing you that's like the finished editing that you did. And you're like, that shit looks good, dog. That shit good.
Hey, all right, we got the rubber gun in shot slow mo. Check. We got the fucking PS3 AI generated Blender special. Double check. Like, holy crap.
How many more screams can we get in there, John?
Ooh. And then he like just falls off the roof. Like I don't even like I was like, oh my god, this is so fucking like I kind of checked out for this, but like the fucking like criminal like belly flopped. He done like a diving fucking splash on him on the scaffolding, and he just rolls off. I was like, okay.
I did find it was funny every time something like that would happen. You would just see the Punisher go, "Oh fuck," and just kind of just like roll with it. That was the
That
only
was
comedic
funny.
like point
Yeah.
that I thought was.
And not the dog on it entirely. John Bernthal is very good in this. I mean, that was like one of the, if not the like main point, along with some of the action bits being good, which I'm gonna get into. But John Bernthal is really good and super charismatic. Um, I like the whole sequence where it's kind of like him walking through the streets and like was going to catch the crippled lady, and and then he gets like called to the coffee shop, and he does that like that whole coffee shop like fight action scene. I thought was probably the best action scene for the whole special, especially whenever he like uh lunged like fucking what's the word I'm thinking of? He lodged the crowbar into that guy's like neck and like smashed him into like the display case, and then like that big like fucking tatted fuck, and he just like shanked him a bunch of times. Like when you were saying that like Daredevil kind of seemed more violent, I was like that scene was pretty
Yeah.
brutal, and like I dug how like far they kind of went with that. So I thought it was. I mean, I'll let you all comment on it, but I'll just say to finish off my thoughts, I thought it was very goofy. The little girl was like, "Here, I made this for you," and I'm just like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like the fucking crocheted rose. I was like, "Okay, yeah."
Hmm.
But that was probably the best scene of the special. I would say out of
I
everything
agree.
overall.
That was a top series scene. And when you said like a Spider-Man goon earlier from a game, and then this big fucking guy comes in, that's what really,
That's the heavy. That's the
yeah,
heavy.
that's the one you got to fucking stun 15 times. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, that was definitely like probably my favorite scene throughout that entire thing, just because it felt really good in the whole entirety of it. It felt, it didn't look goofy. It was nice kills. The pencil shit was crazy, and I'm kind of excited. Well, it was a pencil, right? That was what he used. What was
I
it?
think he used this. Like, I think he. I don't know.
It was a fork.
I thought it was just like kind of like a shank, just like a random
Shit,
shank, but it might have been like a fork or something.
I can't remember, but I said pencil because I'm probably thinking of John Wick or something like that. But regardless, it was really good. What y'all think? Shit,
Man,
it sucks. It fucking sucks.
I thought it was
I
kind of
enjoyed it.
ish. Yeah.
I think reminiscing on it, I'm not enjoying it in my mind anymore. Like I remember, like when I
We
finished it,
just
I
like
was like, yeah, like he just like shattered my brain. Cause like when I finished watching, I was like, that's fun. And now I'm just like,
Was it fun?
Yeah, it's got mid.
we just like retroactively like changed your mind
I'm
and
like,
like
actually, I'm just gonna
it's
go back and give it 1 star.
yeah, and it's fine if you enjoyed it. I mean, that's like when we shit on fucking Fantastic Planet that one episode. I mean, it's it's your own thing, and like some people just like I mean, it feels like junk food. It feels like a fucking bag of like chips. There's like a lot of air. There's some like really like sweet tasty parts, but then kind of by the end you kind of still feel hungry and you also kind of feel like shit a little bit still.
I'm telling you, when I watched Fantastic Planet, it was like eating a bag of air. So
Yeah, just nothing.
nothing.
I had to get in those Fantastic Planet fucking.
This is the only person that had like suggested something
I
on
know,
it,
and
and
then
we shit
and
on
there's been
it.
nothing, and there's been nothing. Crickets.
It's so fucking
And like
funny.
and like I know kind of what Chad talked about before we like got into the review. I mean, it is a good, and I put it in my review. It is a good placeholder kind of between I would imagine the end of Daredevil season 2 to Brand New Day. It just feels like super like anticlimactic. Like okay, again, not to shit on it, but like the last scene where he's got his costume on and he like kills the guy who kills the dog. I'm like, bro, like what the
He
fuck
took
is this?
something
Like,
else from me.
and like, yeah, I wanted that dude to die, but it just felt like. And like we watched like 25 minutes, if that, 20, maybe like 15, 20 minutes of him like killing motherfuckers. And I just still feel like he didn't even earn like putting the Punisher shit back on. It just felt like it was still missing something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He fucking just and he shot the dude and the title card hit. I'm like, wow, this is giving like fucking Ghost Rider. Like it just felt very cheesy to me.
Well, throughout that
I know
whole
they.
thing. Sorry, good.
No, you're good. I know they pretty much told like John Bernthal because I don't know if y'all know, like he pretty much I don't say wrote this, but he had a major part in writing everything that happened in the direction. And the only thing Marvel told him was pretty much like he has to be in full Punisher costume by the end of it, so that he would be ready for Brand New Day. That was the whole pretty much concept of
I don't
why
know.
he gets the suit at the end. And then John Bernthal had creative freedom how he gets there.
I
I
think it would have been like fantasy writing in my head. I think it would have been cooler if like after that like he gets thrown off the rooftop or like something else happens, like maybe he crashes through the ceiling or something because this is a fucking decrepit apartment. He goes into his apartment and he like busts out like the fucking book bag he had, and then he puts on the suit, and then that leads into that cool coffee shop scene where he feels like a hero in that moment. Because I know the Punisher is kind of like more of like an anti-hero, and like this is more kind of like typical superhero stuff, but he felt like he had the most purpose in that coffee shop scene when he's saving that woman and that girl. And like same for that scene in the apartment where he's saving the mom and the son. Like it feels like that's where he has the most purpose, and I think it would have been, it would have felt more earned and like, oh shit, this is badass whenever he's like in full get up and he's um doing all fucking up all that shit in the complex. The only thing is he was also chasing after the fucking the mob boss ladies, so
Ma.
it's your give and your takes, but I think it would have been cooler because just him showing up at the end in the suit, like I love him in that suit, but I just felt nothing. I was like, okay.
That was the entirety though for me, where I was just like, he did that scene in the shop, but after it just seemed like everybody was gone. It felt hollow after that because I'm like, if there's people going to try to kill him for some amount of money, why is there not more people? There's no way he just killed every single one of those guys that was like wanting his head. Like that's the point where it kind of like fell off for me. I was like, well, wouldn't there be more threats? Kind of
Yeah.
coming. Why is he just like, it's over? They got away. It's over. I guess I'm the Punisher now. Got to go get my stuff, and comes back out. That's what I just didn't. That's what felt hollow to me, where I was just like you said, I didn't feel like he earned it. I just felt like he just got bitch slapped around. Then he had a heroic moment, and then he was like, "That'll do it."
And I guess it's like Chad's point is leading into Brand New Day, but I feel like it doesn't have to like fucking like super tee up the movie. I mean,
No.
there could be some left to left open, but whatever. I'm glad we retroactively ruined Tyler's experience with it.
It is what it is. Also, the figure is, not to cut you off. Is the figure
You're good.
like actually? So is it the TV show version of like this Punisher that we just got? Because it
The
kind of
one like
looks
Daredevil.
different.
Well, wasn't the one without the beard? Wasn't that Daredevil?
Yeah, this one right here was Daredevil. But the new
Yeah.
one that he has like he's sleeveless, but I didn't think he looked like that at the end of.
Oh. Well,
Not completely
maybe-
sleeveless, but what was
That
it?
would be
Short
like
sleeve.
maybe his look in Brand New Day. Like maybe it's an
That-
iteration of between
Yeah.
his at the end of the One Last Kill and then
If I
Yeah,
could,
like
Brand New Day.
maybe like he ditches the
if you guys could
the
see it.
fucking leather jacket.
Ooh,
Yeah, he's got the short sleeves. Yeah, maybe he like ditches the
it just looks
coat.
kind of wildly different compared to like the end of that. I don't know, but I mean, they just it just says the Punisher on the box, so I don't know.
I like John Bernthal's Punisher a lot, and like that figure is cool, but I don't know.
I pre-ordered it, but I might cancel it later on because honestly, like this one's pretty top tier by itself anyway. So like,
So to wrap it up, I gave it 3 stars. I would say around 2.5, 3 stars. What did everybody else give it? I think everybody else kind of hovered around.
But
I think yeah.
it's going to probably a 4 star down.
I gave it a 3.5.
I gave it a 3.5 as well. But then that was before like that. I think that was like the high of me watching it. I was like, oh yeah, and then I was thinking about, I was like, oh fuck.
No, I gave it a
Yeah.
3, so that's about right.
It's not bad. So no, to the viewer, don't let our opinions alter yours, or alter you from like watching it. It is a like good watch if you like the Punisher. You will get the kills out of it. It just feels like there could have been a little bit more tweaking to the story itself to kind of make it, I don't know, feel a little bit more full. And if they extended the time just a little bit more, it could have felt, I don't know, it could have got that 4 stars from me if it was just a little bit longer, a little bit more context, a little bit more just story thrown in. That's all. But it's not bad. It's not a bad watch in any way.